Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Natalia Carolina and I'm making this video to submit my final test of syntax subject. And the direction given is to analyze and explain the given sentences with their diagram tree. And I got two sentences to be analyzed. The first one is, I will see him on Monday, and the second is, that the ejector seat didn't work was quite forgotten. I'm going to analyze the first sentences. I will see him on Monday. I'm going to separate this into two categories, verb phrase and noun phrase. For the verb phrase, I also separate this into two categories, noun phrase and verb phrase, because I in here as a noun so that it can be categorized as a noun phrase. And for the verb phrase, we have will and see. Will in here as an auxiliary verb, while see in here as a verb. Maybe I will explain what's the differences between auxiliary verb and the verb. Verb gives the basic meaning of an action, whereas the auxiliary verb expresses the time of the action, such when the action occurs, something like that. And for the second, we have noun phrase. For the noun phrase, we have him on Monday. Him in here as a pronoun, and on Monday as prepositional phrase, because on is prepositional and Monday is a noun. So let's move to the second sentences. We have that the ejector seat didn't work was quite forgotten here. Alright, I divided these sentences into two categories, noun phrase and verb phrase. And for the verb phrase, I have two. And before that, I will explain about the noun phrase first. And for the noun phrase, I have that the ejector seat. That is predeterminer. More specifically, it is demonstrative. Why it calls as predeterminer? Because it appears before the because the in here is part of determiner. More specifically, it is an article, so that we call that as predeterminer because it appears before the determiner, the. And for ejector seat is a noun because ejector is noun and seat is a adjective, because we know that adjective is a word that describes the noun, like pencil case. We're not talking about the case but the we're not talking about the pencil but about the case. What kind of case is that? What kind of ejector is that? It is the ejector seat, something like that. And for the first verb phrase, in the middle, I divided also into two categories, verb phrase and noun phrase. For the verb phrase, we have did and not. Did in here as a verb and not in here as an adverb. More specifically, it is a negation. What is negation? Based on what I know and what I've read, negation in grammar is using negative words to change the meaning of a word or sentence to show it's untrue or not happening. Well, did not in here is an adverb. Not in here is an adverb, an absolute negation marker. In a negative clause, it modifies the verb. In these sentences, it contains verbal negation, which is marked by modification of the verb did. And for the word in here is not a verb, but it is a noun phrase, because word in here as a noun, not a verb, because the verb in these sentences is did. Let's move to the second category of verb phrase. For the verb phrase, I have verb and verb phrase. Verb in here is was. Was is a verb. More specifically, it is auxiliary verb. And for the verb phrase, I have adverb and verb. Quiet is adverb and forgotten is a verb, because quiet describes the verb quite describe the forgotten. Okay, I think that's all from me, and I just want to say thank you for the knowledge that you gave to me, and I'm doing my best on making this video. And yeah, thank you, miss.